رسول الله رسول
وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين صدق الله العظيم. Brothers and few sisters as well behind the curtain, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Normally we sit here to share our experience, to share the knowledge, to share the life, the incidents, the occurrences, what we experience in a day-to-day life. It doesn't matter who gives the nasiha, who stands here and who sits, as a part of the audience. This is normally for everybody. Okay? So it has been a wonderful and unique opportunity for me today that to set the start, inshallah. What we have decided, I just had a shura very quickly with the senior brothers here this morning when I realized that there was going to be something happen not expected. Then we have decided that I will talk upon, I will enlighten you, I will try my best, okay, that to share some of my experiences, okay, in the light of Quran and Hadith, and then I will pass it over to our Shaykh, Dr. Shaban Muhammad, inshallah, to pick up the theme of the day. And the theme was, believers, we bring success together. Divide, detach, we fail. That is the theme of the day today. And that is in relation to the ayah in the Quran, وَتَسِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ الْجَمِيعَ وَلَا تَفَرَّقَا. And this is a very fundamental aspect or the criteria of Iman of a believer. Okay. Now, before I start, can I just ask you, brother, how many of you shut the door behind you when you set up from home this morning?
All of us.
All of you? Right, okay. But with an intention, inshallah, that if we're still alive and kicking, then after this program, we shall go back to our home, isn't it? So what do? We're going home. We haven't entered the home as yet. So what do we do then? What do? When you go to our address, say for whatever it is, I live in 35 Gogos Avenue. So what happens then? What do?
You open key, you put your keys in and
Right. Hold the key, open the door, okay? If we stand right in front of the door, doesn't matter that how pious I am, righteous I am, okay, how intelligent I am, the door is not going to open because I'm not a magician. Or I haven't got the wahi, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that with that barakah, that I will just look at the door and the door is going to be wide open and then I just, enter the house. So we'll have to open the door. And with what?
key.
With key. I'm holding the key, still standing right in front of the door. Is the door going to open?
No.
Why? Because I will have to push the key and then what? Turn it and then the door inshallah will open. Now, I'm pretty sure that among all of us, in our bunch, we just got one key. There are several keys, isn't it? So what do? When you go back home, we just push the key, use the key, and the door is going to open, is it? Any key? No, we need the right key to open the door. So what does it require to get the right key? What does it need to get the right key? To select the right key? To determine that this is the key which is going to open the door. What do we need? What do we need?
The knowledge of the
The knowledge, subhanallah bihamdihi. This brother is frequently opening and shutting the door at his home, I'm pretty sure, okay? So, we need the knowledge. And then, we can open the door. The life of a moment is just like that. We are here, okay, and we are preparing the key for the Jannah. Because we'll have to go, there is a life hereafter. And if we want to enter into Jannah, we're not going to hold the key. Our keys are going to be our amal on that day. And that amal will in fact favor, help us, assist us to get into Jannah. So that means the knowledge, isn't it? There is a hadith, a very small hadith, a little hadith, but it acts like a bullet. Ad-dunya majratul akhirah. The dunya is the produce land for the akhirah. Okay? So what does it mean? That we plant a tree, or we sow the seeds, okay, in this dunya, that we can enjoy the fruit or the produce, we can rip it, we can pick it whenever we want, when the fruit or the veggies are ready, you know, and we can see it. But to pick the produce in the akhirah, we'll have to wait. We'll have to work hard. But working hard with the right knowledge. Okay. There are many avenues in our day-to-day life. Many attractions, temptations. Okay. But we'll have to find out and choose the right path, that which will take us to, inshallah, to where? To Jannah. And that is why the first and the foremost is that we'll have to acquire the knowledge. Okay? And again, there is a hadith. And Prophet of Allah said, Talibul ilm, faridatun ala kulli muslimin. That acquiring knowledge is fundamental. It's comprehensive. It is a must for all the Muslims. For every Muslim. But it doesn't happen. And it says acquiring knowledge. It didn't say which knowledge, but we'll have to judge. Science is a knowledge. Course, arts is a knowledge. Environmental science, Brother Masrooj is sitting there. That's his subject. Science, that's Brother Shaban's subject. Brother Munir's subject. Brother Sarwar's subject. Okay. Social science, caring, whatever. It's all knowledge. And Islam doesn't stop acquiring knowledge just beyond Quran and Hadith, because in Quran, it's all been encompassed. And it also doesn't say, it says, Kul Muslimin. That for everybody. It's for the ummah, for the humankind. It didn't say just for the men and not for the woman. It's for everybody. Everyone. So see the importance of acquiring the knowledge. Where do you get these references from? That acquiring knowledge is the most important thing? Where? Iqra. That was the first ayah revealed on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what did he say? The Jibreel brought these messages for the Prophet of Allah. Iqra. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. That you read in the name of your Lord. That means to get to know your Lord. That's what that started from. So the main objective is to acquire the knowledge, and it has to be linked with the Creator. So that is what the knowledge has got the first reference. Okay. So what is the knowledge about? In Quran, it has encompasses all aspects of life. That's what it started from, and there is nothing that in the Quran that it hasn't got any reference to certain aspects of life. If there is anything that we have not been able to determine or to find out, or it's missing in our perception and understanding, then the Prophet of Allah has practiced. He has preached it. He has acknowledged it and approved it. Okay? Whom? To the Sahabas. As it came, he passed it over straightway. So, knowledge comes, acquire, get to know about it, and then execute our responsibility. Bring it into our activities, and that is our amal. That is what that it is so important. More that people acquire the knowledge, more that he get to know about the life. The authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The responsibilities. The seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because he is our role model. And that is how that we need to follow through. Okay, to attain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we do not have the knowledge, then how are we going to attain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How are we going to act and perform as a righteous Muslim, as a true Muslim, as a true believer? And more we acquire the knowledge, we get more worried, more concerned about what is going to happen. Because one day, we'll have to leave this world. One thing is guaranteed. Once we're born, then we'll die one day. But we do not know, that is again in ghaib. Just like producing, picking up the producer in the akhirah, that when we are going to die. If we knew that that is the date waiting for us, we would have been really shivering. Would have been scared that my day and my time is very limited, it's there. Then we would have started acting upon it. The time is just melting out. It's fading. It's disappearing. Okay. So, one day we'll have to leave. So more we know about our responsibility, about the authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the preaching of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his practice, then we become more fearful, we become more shaky, scared. And in Quran it says, Surah Al-Fatir, I think, Brother Shawan will correct me certainly here, and any other brother if you want to. إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءُ. That among you, he fears Allah most. Who? Al-Ulama'u. Everybody is a ulama. You do not have to go to your mosque, to the madrasa, you see. People who acquire knowledge is an ulama. So the person who acquires knowledge, more knowledge, get to know more about the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his creation, his commands, okay, and the way that it has to be performed, the way it was done by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we really get shaken all the time. And in English it says, what happens? That if it is not hurting, it's not working. Now we will have to assess ourselves. that when you think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His commands, brother, do you mind just to put the cart in there, please? And His command, okay, does it really shake us? Does it really shake our heart? If it doesn't, then we'll have to realize, we'll have to assess ourselves that how good a Muslim we are, how good a mu'min, a believer that we are. And again, Allah says the definition of a mu'min is, sorry brother, Surah Al-Anam, the ayah number 2, إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء. No. Sorry, was there قلوبهم? That's the last part.
إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم.
Yeah, sorry, what's it?
والذين إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم.
Yeah, والذين ذكر, sorry. Anyway, it says the believers is him among you that where the name of Allah is mentioned, then his heart starts shaking. وَزِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ, that his qalb, zilat, it starts shaking. Now we will have to think about it. Every day, every time, doesn't matter that whether we are walking on the street, we are sitting on a desk to do our work, we are eating, before sleeping, resting, whatever. In every moment of life, or whenever that we are going to meet somebody, do we really perform our responsibility in accordance with the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because that is how that he has shown, he has really demonstrated, executed the responsibility of a mu'min, of a believer. Okay, so this is what that we need to assess all the time, every time and every day. Okay, if it doesn't happen, then at some point that we'll have to think about ourselves, where we are, what is our status to the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The companions is to come to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and is to ask him, "Oh Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how do I know that where I have been placed in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?" And you know what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said? He said, just ask yourself, assess within yourself that where you have placed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your heart. So see the relative term of it. That is how that a moment a believer has to always think about themselves. As I said, just in the beginning probably, I touched on that, brothers, in this world now, when you go out of home, there are a lot of paths, avenues open for us to step into. It looks really very tempting, charming, dazzling, sparkling, shining, and we fell into it. Why? Because we see the fruit here. We do not think about the fruit that we ought to pick. We haven't got time to wait for the akhirah. We want something now, ready-made. But brother, we've got to remember that this fruit is nothing compared to what that it's waiting for a believer. Sahaba Kiram, the companions who always followed the advice, the practice of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, asking the Prophet of Allah, that, "O Allah, O the Prophet of Allah, do you always preach us that to practice the right way, fear Allah in all our thoughts, plannings, and actions?" And that's what we do. But don't you see the other people around us? Who doesn't bother about it? And they're getting more power, more authority, more wealth, and you're suffering life. It's very true, it happens these days, isn't it? For an honest man, when we stand, it's difficult to lead a life honestly in this world, wherever you go. So the Prophet of Allah said, imagine, I know it's very tempting, imagine that you are standing right on the bank of a sea, a huge ocean, and dip your thumb into the ocean, okay, and lift it up, and look at your thumb, that how much water it contained from the sea. And the companion said, oh, it's nothing. Because ocean, the sea, samandar, whatever we say, the shagar, I don't know what to say in Arabic.
Finger?
No. The sea. Okay, whatever. Okay. It's huge, isn't it? We all have seen the seas or the oceans. And the volume, the abundance, it's so big, unimaginable. When you compare what we get out of it is nothing. And that's what Prophet of Allah said and advised to the companions. This is what you're going to get in this world. So are you prepared? Or are you going to be happy? Satisfied? With this, what you get here? Or you are going to wait and be patient that what it is waiting for you in the day of Akhirah. So who is the fool? Who is dodging people these days in this world? Deceiving people? Lying left, right and center? Taking hawks away, rights away from other people. If you look at the Muslim country, it's happening more. In the context of Bangladesh, in the context of anywhere in the Muslim world. So that means that we are not fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are not following the role model of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Right. We have acquired knowledge, okay, somehow, but then now your question may be, how do you acquire the knowledge? There are many, many ways. I don't have to tell you. Quran is certainly the first source, then the Seerah, the life of Prophet, the Hadith, the magazine, the articles, newspapers, news. There are abundant of sources these days to acquire knowledge. And brother, most knowledges that we gather from our environment, it's right or wrong, it's good or bad knowledge. That is why that we got to choose which environment that we are living into, or we prefer to live into. And I think that I should be choose an environment which is Islamized, which helps us to bring our amal in sahih way. And our children as well, because we are also responsible for them as well. What is that ayah, brother? That save yourself and save your ahl. Save yourself and save your ahl, your family, from nara. What's nara? It's the fire. Which fire? The fire which is waiting for us. Hope not. Hope not. We all have to die. Kullu nafsun za'iqatul maut. We'll have to die one day. So prepare ourselves. Now with the knowledge, very quickly I would say, because I'm taking now time from our brother, who is going to give you, enlighten you better than me. And What did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam do when the message was revealed to him? Where was that spot that he got all these messages that started coming in? Where was he? What is the place? Which place that he was in? Eh? Mount Hira, isn't it? So what did he do? He just sat down there with the knowledge that it came to him, the message revealed to him. No, he came out of that, stepped down to the land, to the community. And what did he do? Did he sit tight with the message that he received? No, he shared it. And then he prepared people who will work with him to establish the ultimate objective is to attain the pleasure of Allah through establishing the Islamic lifestyle, the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is what he did. He didn't conceal it. So that means that he had to prepare a group of people who shared his views, who shared the messages, and then through training, he prepared them all. And then all together, it really became a force against the batil, against the taghut, the unjust system. You know that there are plenty of, the corruptions and Zahiri system in Arab at that days. So his challenge was really enormous. So what did he do? First he shared the knowledge, then he prepared the companions. Daily huge, not that huge. And then with the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he fought them out. And eventually, apparently, he conquered what? The Makkah. And all of a sudden, there were massive influx of people into Islam. And that is how that Islam started. And this is the responsibility that we all have. Wherever we live, we'll have to strive hard to eradicate those, zahils, those whatever, the fitnas from the community. And this test will continue, this responsibility is going to continue for all of us until the deen of Allah has been established or the environment has been Islamized. In Quran it says, وَقَاتِلُهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةً يَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ. That strive hard to eradicate fitna, which is contrast to the ethic of Islam. Where is no Islam, no justice there. If Islam is not there, then what rules? What is the other thing that is ruling the society, the community, dominant? Where Islam is not dominant, what it is that's what is dominant.
Make man rule.
Eh?
Make man rule.
Right? Okay. Man-made rule.
Yes.
Okay. Who inspires to do this man-made rule? Eh? Mr. Sorry, sir, say Mr. Shaitan. So now, we'll have to choose. Who are we siding with? Is it our leader, the role model, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or it is the shaitan, that which tempts us all the time to get away, come away from the right path, and falls into the wrong. So this is our responsibility. And in Quran it says, I'm sorry, I can't remember the ayah these days. I'm getting old, I keep on forgetting things. When you go back home, just look at the Quran. It's Surah Al-Baqarah 115 and 160 ayah, or maybe 158 and 59 ayah. And Allah says in the Quran that who conceals, who disguises my messages that I have sent, the messages of the guidance, and messages for whom the bayan is for the whole ummah. So who disguises them, I will curse them on the day of Akhirah. وَأَنَحُمُ اللَّهِ Ulaika wa anahumul la'inun. And not only I'm going to curse them, but the kafir, the mushrik, is also going to curse them. So get prepared for that. So there are three things that we see. One is to acquire the knowledge. Then second thing, that prepare ourselves through tarbiyah. Okay, as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. And then take these messages to the others as well. So every Muslim, it's a fundamental responsibility. See, the circle, knowledge, dawah, and tarbiyah. And that probably will help us to make a perfect, or more or less towards it. Okay, to practice as a right Muslim, as a true believer. Okay, I think this is the time that I must hand it over. Yes, I'm sorry that we haven't had the presence of the speaker today, but we have been trying our best to share this environment today, okay, with all of you, inshallah. But yet, the best of the show is yet to come here. And Brother Shaban is going to enlighten you for another 20 minutes or so on the theme today. وَتَصِيمُ بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Okay, inshallah. تَفَرَّقُوا. جزاكم الله خيرا. Brother Shaban.